now we're getting started. So let's have Paul, start the camera, the count, the timer. I can't speak English. 3, 2, 1, go! Get started. Like I said, start slow if you need, because we haven't really warmed up. Get you to breathe. Try to keep a constant movement going. One and a half minutes left. Push through. Don't stop.
Keep going, you guys. You guys got less than a minute.
Finish strong. Finish your last set. And you're done. Very nice, very nice.
That's fine, Ayush.
I'm just starting to get going. You guys all right? Stretch out a little bit, shake it out, loosen up. We'll get going here. We'll make some circles. And forwards. And one forward, one backwards. And switch. Oh. Very nice. Rotate your hips. Very good. And other direction. How you guys feeling? Warm? Yeah? And now a Cosmic stretch. How many of you are planning to do One Shoe competition? I know Rich sent his in already. Haven't taken a look at it yet. Kai, was that you raising your hand? No.
Asher, are you gonna do it? Yeah?
Cool.
Cool. Anyone else?
Switch other side.
Natalia.
Oh.
I think. Natalia.
Natalia, you're like, there you go. You're like silhouetted. All dark.
Okay. Anyone else? Jonathan? You're gonna do it?
Horse stance.
Yeah? Awesome. Anyone else? No?
Ooh, some records.
Huh?
No. So I still have some tests to do. Like Kai, I still have yours. Charlie, I still have yours. Who else? I think that might be it. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, you guys. All right. So, trying to debate what to start with. There's so many things that I want to do today. So I think we'll start with some shadow boxing, just because I know we normally do that. So we'll just kind of continue to loosen up and kind of cool down a little bit, because the kind of stuff that I want to work with you and the want you stuff that I want to work with you, I don't want to kill you guys too much, because the jumps, you need a lot of legs. You need a lot of leg strength. So we'll just work our arms for now. So what I want you guys to do is just work a 1, 2, 3, 4 combination. So that's jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Try to stay as relaxed as possible. Don't even make tight fists. So I'm literally like this as I throw my strikes. Because the idea is I want to stay so relaxed that it's just my hips doing all the work. My hips are doing all the work. My body, my lower body is doing all the work. Okay, so I'm here, twisting my body, throwing my hooks, throwing my uppercuts. You're going to do a little dip on the uppercut here. But also pay attention. It's also not this. See how it's very robotic. Even though my body is doing the work, it's still a lot of tension in my shoulders, a lot of tension in my arms. So stay relaxed. There should almost be a little bit of a delay in between your hip moving and your strike hitting, or strike coming out. Because it's the chain reaction starts here. So if you kind of pay attention, the chain reaction starts there. My hip moves first, my hand follows. And of course you want to be focused on exaggerating this motion, and then that way when you do speed it up, there is no delay. But right now, we'll just be so relaxed that there is a delay. Okay, there's just a fraction of an inch delay, just a little bit. Just nice and relaxed. Hit one target right in front of you, and just nice and relaxed. And just move around. Don't worry about looking at the camera or looking at the screen. Just here. Work on getting out of the way as you move or as you finish. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Pivoting out of the way, throwing a jab. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Pivot away, do a jab. Right? Whether it's just sidestepping or you're straight pivoting, whatever it is. Stay relaxed. Boom. Just keep moving. Constant motion. Constant motion. Okay? Hands up the entire time. I don't see anyone dropping their guard at all. If anything, the only time you should really drop it all is if you're backing away and you're really far from your opponent. Okay? But the point is that you're constantly and continuously thinking about your opponent. Okay? Don't drop your guard because you're being lazy or your arms are tired. Drop your guard because in your mind's eye, you're far away from your opponent. Okay? So it's all about what's happening up here, not so much what's happening here. Okay, in terms of that regard. So again, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Simple 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? Keep those legs bent, legs loaded. Okay? The upper body is relaxed. My lower body is constantly shifting my weight and pumping. Okay? Even though I'm moving a little slower, that's okay. The point is I'm exaggerating the movements. I'm trying to stay relaxed. I'm trying to stay moving. Okay? Boom. Nice and relaxed. Slow motion. Okay? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. All right? There's no point in doing a technique fast if you do it wrong. Okay? Move around. Boom, boom. I know it's mundane in terms of the same techniques, but still, hooks and uppercuts are not as intuitive to us, so we need to be working more on those. So turn that body, let that hip, the elbow come out, and let that sink down here. Okay? You're coming across, hitting across with that. So the hook should be the front hand. The lead hand does the hook. The rear hand is what does the uppercut. So it's going to be left, right. If I'm right-handed, my left leg is forward, I go left, right. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Okay, jab is the left, right is across, hook is the left, uppercut's the right. Okay? Let me see it. Boom, 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 boom. I want to see chins down. You guys are relaxing a little too much. Come in here like this. Okay? Keep your hands down. Keep your chin down. Keep your hands up. Okay? You're kind of meeting halfway. You need to bring your hands up here. Because my chin's up and your hands need to be up here. But when my chin's down, my hands can be lower. Okay? So see how they don't really go past my shoulders? Because my shoulders are hiked up and they're also protecting. If you look from the side, they're protecting my chin as well. I'm not here with my chin sticking out or up, my shoulders down. Here. Okay? Let me see it. Hands up, hands up. I'm still seeing hands down. If you were in camp last week, you guys know how much we talked about keeping your hands up. And we talked a little bit last time. If you don't want to get punched in the face, then put your hands up. Getting hit in the face sucks. In any regard. Okay, nice. I'm seeing some good things. Some good things. Very good. Yum, everybody. Very good. So, a common thing that I saw, right, other than maybe some hands dropping, that's fine. I get it. You're probably tired after all those push-ups. That's okay. But something I noticed a lot was you would finish your combo, and then this would happen. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right away your hands came down. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, combo was good, and then right away hands down. You would keep your hands up in the middle of the combo, and then you'd back away and put your hands down. What if you missed your combo? And as soon as you were done with your combo, they decided to counter you. But you're so trained, you trained yourself into after you finish your combo, you put your hands down. Well, guess what? In the self-defense situation, if that happens, you're getting popped in the face. So even after you get away, that's why I'm talking about, as you move away, throw that jab. Because that's going to prevent them from rushing you afterwards. Because they're going to be met with a fist to the face, fist to the nose. Right? So as you finish your combo, first of all, don't just move back and throw a jab, but move to the side. We talked about last time the rice pattern, move to the side, right? Move to that backwards angle or that forward angle and throw that jab out. So that way you're not standing there or moving backwards when they decide to let loose because they just got finished, blocking all your shots and now they're angry. They're going to come back at you. You got to get out of the way. So another minute. Really focus on not so much the hands now, but the moving afterwards, throwing the jab out. Go ahead. Get moving, get moving. Hands up. Pivot to the side after you're done. Okay? But don't just fall away, but load. So watch. As I'm here, boom, 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 boom. As I move away, I'm loading into my leg so I can throw another strike afterwards. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Hands up. Constantly loaded the entire time. And that's going to force you to get used to that, being loaded. Don't ever feel like in a fight you can do this and just lock your legs out and be relaxed. Okay? Because you need to be on your game. Don't let yourself get slack in your technique. Nice. I see some good forward movement and then right away breaking off at an angle. That's good.
Your pivoting is good, Allegra, but I want to see those hands up higher, okay? So bring those hands up. There you go.
Nice job, everybody. Very good. Okay. Shake it out a little bit. Shake it out. Get your breath. Relax. Shake your legs out. We're going to move into our first section of this kata part that we had. So, you know, I was in a semi-private lesson with one of our he's a youth student, but he's a higher ranking youth student. He's not in your class. He's in a different class. He's actually in the class before the advanced class. He's in the intermediate class. And, you know, he's really good. And like technique-wise, and one of the things that we've been working with him on for the past couple months here is he's letting his knee cave in, okay? And so really, and kind of where we saw it was in the very beginning. For instance, he was doing Pinan Sandan, and in the kata he did this, where he let his knee cave in for the very first move. And I was watching it, and I was wondering, like, oh, that's actually a really common thing. Not only is it common in terms of a lot of people do it, but also that particular movement is very common in a lot of the katas, right? You've all seen it. In 4 out of the 5 Pinan katas, it starts off with a turn, back stance, and a something with your hands, right? The only kata that doesn't do that is Pinan Shodan and Hanchi Shodan, right? But other than that, Pinan Nidan, boom, back stance. Pinan Sandan, boom, back stance. Pinan Yondan, Pinan Godan, right? Whatever it is. Your first move is turn to the left, step into a back stance, right? And I kind of want to go over that with you guys because I realize that we do that. We've talked about it sometimes, but I don't really remember the last time we talked about it. So let's go and talk about it. So go ahead and do that actually a couple times on your own, whatever kata it is. Just step into a back stance. Like if you're in a ready stance here, just turn and step into a back stance. And just go ahead and do that a couple times on your own while I watch you, and I want to see if you guys do the same thing here. But try to be conscious of that knee caving in as you step.
If you guys can, try to maybe like lower your camera so that we can see at least like, you know, where your knees are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Kai, don't step on that whatever's on the floor, man.
I think it's a pillow.
A pillow, a jacket or something. There you go. That's pretty good. All right. Nice job. So a very common mistake. Now I'm seeing it less here with you guys, which is very good. I like that. It's a welcome sight. But the reason why a lot of people have trouble with that section is because this is what happens.
Natalia.
They're here. They step, but then when they step, they do this. They come here and they pole vault, which I know all of you have heard before. Where I step, I shift my weight forward, and then I shift it back into my back leg, where they kind of like fall this way, and then they catch themselves. So they're here, they fall, and they catch themselves, and then come back to here. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, right? But for instance, if I were to do Pinan Sandan, it would look like this, right? Where they're shifting their weight, and then they're kind of adjusting afterwards. When in reality, I should be dropping straight down. My head should not move towards my opponent, really at all. It might move a little bit just because of the way your body's built or whatever, but there shouldn't be an adjustment period of shifting forward to the front leg and then shifting back to the front leg. If you guys can see, I'm trying to get as close as I can to them. Well, I guess I probably can zoom in too. But when I'm here, can you guys see me? So when I'm here, when I do my first move, well, that's really close. There, sure, that works too. When I do my first move, it's not this and then back, but it's just straight down. See, I'm that way my knee doesn't do this and then come back, or does this and just stays there. But I'm dropping my knee straight down. See how my knee didn't move?
It's kind of like a post.
Yeah.
It's
okay. Watch, my knee doesn't move. Boom. And then from there, I pull my hand back to my hip, but my knee hasn't moved at all. Now this leg is super loaded. I can move into my next technique. Same idea, whether it's Pinan Nidan after the side kick, coming into here. It's not, if I would do a side kick this way, it's not this, but it's side kick, boom, right straight down. See, my head didn't move at all towards my opponent. Okay, same idea. Whether you're doing Kushan Kudai, whether you're doing whatever kata, ensure that knee, whatever it is not, you're trying to isolate that knee as much as possible so it doesn't wobble. Okay, because that's your foundation. You want to keep your knees over your feet kind of always, unless you're doing maybe a front stance or any like the special stances, okay? But go ahead and spend a couple minutes on your own. Pick your favorite kata or whatever kata you want to do, and try to find an instance where that happens, where whether it's a front stance, back stance, horse stance, whatever it is, but try to find where, hopefully you don't do it, but we all do it, like all of us do it as well, but try to find an instance where you're catching yourself leaning forward and then having to shift back into your stance, and try to rough the edges up on that. Okay, and try to smooth it out to where you're not leaning and then adjusting afterwards. But try to just sink into it and be done with it, and then move on. right? So whether it's Pinon Yondan, whether it's any of the Pinons are probably the easiest ones to do it because there's less hand techniques per step. So it's a little bit easier to see it. But if you want to work a brown belt kata or a black belt kata, that's fine too. Allegra, we can see you, you know. Awkward. Did you have a question, Allegra? No? Okay. You're just playing with the cardboard thing, whatever it was. If you have questions, if you're like not quite sure, then ask us. Natalia, aren't you hot? You were wearing a shirt, now you're putting your gi on? It's okay. You don't have to answer. It's all right. It's rhetorical. But yeah, right there, Rich, that's pretty good. Anytime you turn, for instance, for Sean Pichot, when I turn, don't let like this knee cave in, right? Especially, that's a common thing when I step. Some people do this with their knee, or even if I turn like this, if I turn this way, like that happens sometimes where my knee caves in when I turn. So make sure whatever it is I'm doing, my knee stays nice and stable throughout the entire time. You didn't do it, but that part of the kata reminded me of that. So. Yeah.
Natalia, you're taking you this time to fix your gi, but you don't need one.
Just practice. So right there, Natalia. So your back stance like right now looks great, looks amazing. But then you did this. You went here, you went one, and then you expanded afterwards. So you moved, and then your knee was here, or maybe it wasn't even caved in. But the point is that you dropped and then expanded afterwards. When it should be, your knee shouldn't move. Does that make sense? Right? So that, even though what you did was better than letting your knee cave in, it's still not, you don't want to, because then what's happening is that if I drop and then expand, I have weight going that way. Does that make sense? When I should have more of my energy should be focused this way. So if I go like this and then go bang, with my knee out, then I have energy going like this both directions versus I just want everything going that way and down. Make sense? Rather than backwards. Okay? So there you go. That might help you get a feeling for that. But better, but be better.
A lot of physics, yeah.
You guys getting it? So just be conscious of that knee. You guys are young, so you probably don't feel it, but like the older students, like the adult students, are like, "Yep, knees are important."
I feel it just from looking at you guys. Not you guys, but when it happens.
Students in general, when knees are caved in, I'm like, it hurts my soul. My knees start to ache. So yeah, I mean, adjusting afterwards, like if you get into a move and then from there adjusting, that's great. But then go back and then try to nail that on the first try. Right, so that's it's another level in terms of foot position and stance, and being a nail the stance the first time. Now it's about knee placement, because we always focus on weight distribution and foot position and width and length and all that stuff, but knee position is also really important. And then from there you have hip position, and then connecting all that with the upper body is all part of, it's all one big circle of life. Circle of karate? I don't know. All right, you guys, I'm gonna relax. Shake out your legs a little bit. We're going to continue on the same idea, and actually, now that I think about it, I set myself up a little bit. When I'm talking about this foot position and all that, and everything being connected, we're going to talk about that a little bit as well, in conjunction with the knee. Okay, so for instance, if I'm going to throw a reverse punch, and my knee is caved in, it's going to be really hard. Like, I don't think I can actually at all. Like, I don't even want you guys to try it, because I don't want you to hurt yourselves. But just try and watch and see if you can. My knee's kind of poofy, so I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see? Can you guys see my knee caved in? Oh, that doesn't feel good at all. But from here, I can't push off my back foot really at all. Like, I'm scared to, because I'm going to like tear my knee out, right? But I can't. It's really hard to throw a reverse punch. But if I can push my knee out, now I can contract all these muscles, and now I can push off that leg, right? And then when I push, as I shift my weight, that moves my front leg. Now I can step, and then I can and drive. But of course, you have the ground in your foot and your hip. But then in between that is your knee. So if your knee is out of whack, if it's not working with the rest of the team, then you're not going to go anywhere. It's all going to blow up in your face. Okay? And in this case, your knee might blow up in your face. So we're here. Go ahead and throw some reverse punches. and really focus this time on the knee. So your foot, of course, you have good foot position. You should be as wide as the front stance should be. But really focus on getting that knee in. And if you can see it, I'm not really in like a traditional front stance this way, because this is actually, even though it looks cool, it's actually pretty garbage. Like I can't really do much from here. It just looks cool. But from here, even though it might not look, it looks like my weight is shifted backwards a little bit. It actually is, because my weight is now here. My power is here. Now I can push and throw power and throw a powerful punch. So as I'm pulling back, don't be afraid to let more weight on that back foot so you can get energy to throw.
Face the front.
So like this, see how my leg is straight? It's actually there. You see that? See my knees popped out a little bit?
See, it's at the same angle as his foot, as his toe.
Yeah. Versus this is not. My knee is pointing down. My toe is pointing at a 45. But now my knee is pointing at a 45 as well as my foot. Now I can throw a lot more. And now I can move and throw and all that stuff. So it's really important to have that knee. Same thing with your foot. Okay? So again, make sure your front stance is as wide as your hips. I'm seeing a lot of people with their heels on the same line. I'm like sweating. I'm working hard. You guys all right? Hopefully it's not too hot at home. No, I'm just working. It's fine. It's good enough. So you're a little too long of a stance there, Natalia. You're there you go. That's better. You got long legs, but you don't have those long. You don't need to have a stance that long, because then you start taking away from mobility. Less effective. There you go. Your name is blocking your foot. I can't quite see it, but that's okay. So don't be afraid. Like I was telling you guys, don't be afraid to shorten up your stance. Shorten up your stance. That'll help you get a feeling for it. So for instance, in reverse, if we take a look at a cross, I can be here. I can really crank that hip back because my feet are so close together. I can really throw it. Same idea. If I'm here, if I'm in a shallower stance, like an Okinawan front stance, I can really drive my hip back and load up my back leg because my feet are so close together. And now I can do that. So don't be afraid. You don't have to be in like a super deep front stance. Go on like 1.5 units, and then that'll probably be enough to give you a feeling. And then again, it's all about refining that and getting that feeling down for stand-up fighting and for more traditional long stance karate. I'm seeing some people at the computer. You guys got questions or what? Like Charlie, Kai, Vedant. Ooh, Arthur's frozen again. Brian's gone. He disappeared. Austin disappeared. Asher and Marilyn I guess, are here. One little detail as well. Something that we don't normally teach to, actually probably you guys actually before we start taking a look at this as well, is letting that front foot move a little bit. You guys know what I'm talking about? So when I throw a punch or a block, the most common places that you probably have seen it from one of us is Pinan Nidan. After this shuto, middle block, kick, punch, middle block. If you notice, my front foot moved. So after this reverse punch, my front foot moved a little bit because I'm letting my hip is moving it, and that's going to allow me to get a little bit more hip rotation into that as well. So when I throw a reverse punch, I don't need to stay my feet still. I can bring my foot, so I don't know if you can see that. My foot pulled back a little bit, but it's not this, where I'm just sliding my foot, but my hip turns, and that is what moves my foot. And that's going to give me a little extra snap and rotation on my power, and just give me that extra 5% power for my punch. So you can do that where you're here and let that front foot move a little bit and kind of use that to help you pull. Otherwise, this might happen where you're here and you go and your front leg locks out and you blow your knee out. So especially if you're hitting with a lot of power, don't be afraid to let that foot move. Remember, it's all about the feeling of being rooted and sinking and turning of the hip and making sure everything is working together. Once you get that feeling, you can start playing with the rules. Okay? I forget what that quote from Einstein, what was it? Was it Einstein? It was like once you define the rules, something like that, you can break them at your leisure or something like that. Something like that. Same idea. Once you get the idea, forget that quote. I don't know what I was talking about. But it has something to do with physics, I think. Or
once you define the rules, what?
I forget. Does anyone know what quote I'm talking about? Anyways.
You can break them?
The idea is you can break them at your leisure. Or something like that.
Dalai Lama?
Maybe. I don't know. But it is that what's important is the idea of being rooted and the idea of foot, knee, and hip alignment and all that stuff. Then once you get that feeling, you can play. You don't have to stick to the rules per se, as long as you're following those feelings and those motions and those kind of fundamental ideas. Okay? But from there, you can start playing around with and kind of bending the rules and moving things that don't really typically get moved. So it's that's where I find it gets really interesting, because that's when it really gets to a personal level. Like it's all about how you feel. Because in the beginning, it's all about, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how you do block. This is how you do blocks. This is how you do punch. This is how you do kick. But then after that, once you get the idea down, now you can start breaking it down and making it your own thing, where it's only you're the only one that does it, right? It's how you feel, not about what someone else sees, right? Or what someone else tells you. Okay? All right, Yame, everybody. Nice job. Enough of me talking. Very good. Shake it out a little bit. Relax. Grab some water. Hopefully it's nearby. We'll take like a minute, 30 seconds before we get into moving here. How are you guys' legs feeling? You guys' legs feeling all right? Good. You guys ready for some jumps or what? Just kidding. We're not gonna be jumping the entire time. It's gonna be a lot of footwork, a lot of how to gain momentum in air when you jump. We're gonna be doing the Empe jump first. Just because that one's a little easier in my opinion. It's a little easier on the knees. Once you get that one down, then the Wanshu jump becomes a little easier, because now all you're worrying about is the landing, not worried about the jumping and the rotating and all that stuff. Okay. So everyone good? Everyone good? Go and stretch out a little bit. Rotate your hips.
Make sure you have space.
Yeah, make sure you have space
behind and in front of you.
If you don't know Wanshu or Empe, that's okay. We're not going to be working like the whole kata. We're just going to be working the jump. That's it. Okay? And the jump, I think, is really good to learn, especially Empe. In my personal opinion, the Empe jump is one of the best jumps to learn, just because first of all, it's not the most difficult jump in the world. It's not the most dangerous jump in the world, but it gives you everything that a jump is good for, right? Spatial awareness, the ability to kind of have your body all move together, and just being able to land on your mark and all that stuff. Even it doesn't matter what age you are, you can do a good Empe jump, right? You don't need to jump super high, things like that. For those of you who know Kushon-Kusho, I think it might just be Rich. the jump of Kushon-Kusho is super dangerous, right? When you go like this, and then you're at a 45-degree angle when you're jumping, that you will blow your knee out. Like if you do it wrong, you'll break your ankle, right? Roll your ankle. Kushon-Kodai, kind of, it's cool. It's a good jump, but you don't spin. So even though it's a hard jump, especially after 2 hours of Kushon-Kodai, which is the one run of Kushon-Kodai, it's definitely a hard one. But it doesn't give you that spin and that spatial awareness that I like. So I'm just going to show you the jump. For those of you who don't know it, like Joshua and all the Sankyus and maybe some of the Nikyus that haven't learned it yet. But the jump looks like this. It's going to be here, jump. Okay? Pretty simple. It's nothing too fancy, right? Brian, that's pretty good, right? But again, it's important to know. So what's going to happen is it's very similar. The only thing that's really different from this jump and Wanshu is that this jump is in a back stance. Wanshu is in a this jump is in a back stance. The other one's a front stance. So you start and land in a front stance for Wanshu. And then this one is you start in a front stance and you land in the back stance, which in my opinion is a lot better for your knees, which is why we're doing it. So just go ahead and do this with me a couple times. We're just going to go over the footwork. I know a lot of you know it already, but just so you don't burn yourselves out and like destroy your legs in the first 10 minutes, we're just going to go ahead and do it together. So just come here nice and relaxed. Right leg forward. This is going to be a 360-degree jump. So you're going to start with your right leg forward and you're going to end with your right leg forward. Okay? And so if you have, I have the luxury of having mats, but if you don't have mats, you can use like a marker. So if you look at, you just really need 1 point. But if you notice, just watch for a second. My back foot, wherever my back foot is where my front foot is going to end. Does that make sense? So when I'm here, after I jump, my front foot is now where my back foot was. Okay? So it's literally just, I'm going to go from here, and then my end position is there. Okay? So that should give you an idea of how much distance you're really traveling. You're not really traveling that much distance. Okay? So just go ahead and do this turn a couple times where I'm here, I turn my foot, I kick my leg around, and step back. Okay? So you're taking 2 steps backwards towards the rear here. Okay? So we're here, turn the foot, pigeon toe, straight back. And for this jump, you want to think linear. Linear. Do not rotate too much, because that's a very common mistake. People rotate, and then when they land, they kind of like continue spinning, and they go all over the place. So here, right leg forward, turn, step, straight back. Okay? Try to go straight back. Don't jump yet. Even if you know it, Brian. It's easy to see it because everyone's moving slowly, and then I see you just like, whoo, in midair. So remember, your right leg starts forward. Allegra, you can do this too. Right leg starts forward. I turn my right foot towards my left. My left turns some more. My right leg, my back leg in this case now, takes a big step. I go pigeon toe. Move. Pigeon toe. Then my left leg, step back, straight back into a front stance. Or in this case, it'd be back stance. But just for the footwork, don't worry about stances right now. Vedant, did you have a question? No? Okay. Let me see. I'm going to watch you guys for a bit here just so I can make sure everyone's on the same page here. Almost, Alex. You're moving forward right now, Alex. You want to be moving backwards. So watch. So if I start facing this direction, I move towards my back. So I move backwards rather than moving forwards this way. So you're just kind of reversing it. That was better. I saw the last half of it. So try it again. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I can't quite see your feet, but I can tell by your shoulders it looks correct. So just make sure your right foot stays forward in the beginning and the end. That looks better. Yeah. Let me see it, Asher. Go ahead. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty good. Pretty good. And then once you start to get the hang of it, you can do a little hop. Now, we're not doing the full-blown jump yet. Relax, guys. Don't hurt yourselves. Okay, so we're here. I don't want to see anyone falling over on accident because they slipped on their socks. Okay? Oh, take your socks off. We don't know if you didn't already. But I want you to come here and just work on hopping. Just get a little bit of air. Okay? And get comfortable with that. Get comfortable with spinning in there. Now, really common mistake. Looking down and leaning forward. And so where people are doing this. That's only going to get you dizzy. Okay? Like that one time got me more dizzy than the 3 or 4 times that I did earlier. So just be here. Turn, look, and then look. So I only moved my head twice. Once to look backwards, and then once to look forward. Okay? And so that, if you ever watch, I know it's weird, but have you guys ever seen, maybe not watched religiously, but have you guys ever seen figure skaters? When they do the spins, the super fast spins. If you watch their heads, I'll do it in slow motion because I'm not a figure skater, but they turn and they snap. They turn, they snap, they turn, they snap, they turn, they snap. So they're not letting their head turn with their body the entire time. They're actually snapping their head and picking a point, and they're turning, and then they snap, and then because that way it doesn't get them dizzy. Same thing. We talk about doing forward rolls. You pick a point, and then you roll, and you look at that point right away. Same idea. When I'm here, when I do my jump, if I just turn my whole body with my head, I'm going to get dizzy. Especially if I look down, because my whole head is now moving with my body, and it's not going to feel good. So I got to look, and then right away look at the front. Okay, so I'm only snapping my head twice. Once to look backwards, and once to look forward. Okay, and I want you to practice that as you do this little hop. So you're doing the little hop. Try not to look down, but come here, and work on the eyes, and work on just being comfortable spinning in the air, right? And just try to land lightly. Try to land soft. Okay? Austin. Even if you already know MPA and want you, do it anyways.
Austin, you okay? You got dizzy?
Go slow. That's why I'm telling you guys, go slow, because we're going to be doing this for a little bit here. So,
Brian, you have a question?
sure. What's up, Brian?
Should your knee be more kind of like power the spin, or?
As of right now, no. Because I'm not trying to get air. So that's a good question. So those of you who do know Empe, I've talked about where you're lifting your knee up. Because you're not trying to get into a stance or really generate any power, no, you don't need to right now. Just turn, and just kind of swing your leg. See how it's very like anticlimactic. Right? It doesn't look like much, but remember, you're focusing on, and this is good for people who've never done this kind of a jump before. Like being able to do this and land without really falling, like I just did, right, is really important to do. All right, so as you're here, do the jump and try to land softly, okay? Even if you need to land like one foot than the other, that's okay. We're just getting used to that centrifugal force and turning as you guys go, okay? All right, relax for a second, actually. Take 10 seconds, regain your equilibrium. Brian, as Brian continues to spin in like 4 more circles, just randomly, like a top.
I was thinking like a ballerina.
Like a ballerina, whichever one. Brian,
Because you can see it more in
or
the ballet art.
Brian the Beyblade. Just kidding. All right, guys. So let's take it over now. So a couple of details about this jump, and it translates well to Wanchu as well. Both feet need to land on the ground at the same time. So it's not, but it's, so one sound, okay? So as I jump, if you jump like we have just been jumping, where I kind of just swing this leg around, it's going to be 2 sounds. Hear that? I don't know if the mic picked that up, but when I'm here, I need to bring both legs up and then down. So if you've done, I think all of you, except for maybe Joshua, except for Joshua actually, and Connor, but Pinan Kodan, the jump, we talk about bringing the knees up. Right, you bring both knees up. If I just bring my feet back, it's going to be really hard. But if I bring my knees up, I can stab the ground, and my energy goes down rather than forward or sideways or whatever way. Okay. So as you jump, I want you to just practice this. Just start in a back stance. Bring your knees up, and then land in a back stance. Right? And try to land in balance. Okay? Try to have both feet touch the ground at the same time. Bring the knees up as high as you can, and then just land on the ground. Go ahead, continue. Oh, why is it so zoomed in? All right, here we go. Go ahead. Don't worry about spinning. Don't spin, don't spin, don't spin. Jump and land. Jump and land. But have your knees farther apart. Don't have your knees up in front like this. Have your knees up and land. Okay? Remember, you want to minimize the amount that your legs move. Okay? Because the more your legs move, the harder it's going to be to keep balance in the air. The harder the land is going to be. So try to have your knees where they need to be. Hey, that rhymed. Before you land. Where they need to be. Nice. So let's try this. Now we're here. I want you to start a front stance, and don't worry about your hands. But you're gonna turn, land, jump, land. Okay. Here. Turn the foot. Pigeon toe, step, jump, land. Okay. So now it's stepping, and then right when you get to that end position, you're gonna jump and land. Okay. Go ahead. That's it, Natalia. Okay? So, we're here. Start with the right leg forward. Big turn, step, jump, land. Okay? That's going to give you an idea of how far you need to be and how far you need to move from your starting position. Okay? And also adds in a little bit of jump without the spin. Okay? So we're here. So if I just kind of go for it, who knows where I'm going to land? But by doing this, where I can step, jump, now I can get an idea of where I'm supposed to be and how far I am from my starting position, and it makes it a little bit easier, that much easier, when I actually do it. Okay, so once you get the hang of it, you can start speeding it up, where you just, right? So now you get that spin without any of the danger, right, of landing wrong. Okay, so once I'm here, now I can move, snap, 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 and up, or up, down, okay? So again, here, move, okay? Nice and easy, nice and relaxed, nothing crazy. There's very little chance that I'm gonna hurt myself unless I'm negligent in how I'm training, right? But it should be smooth and easy on the joints. It shouldn't be crazy, right? As you can see, I didn't even land in a proper back stance. I just went up and landed, just stood there, right? But the important part is the spin and the jump, okay? So see how, Rich, you were kind of like, oh, a little bit backwards, right? So what's happening is you're trying to rotate a little too much. Think of just turning. Just turn and look backwards. So Rich, watch. So when I'm here, if I'm rotating, if I'm trying to think of like spinning, I'm gonna be too much. All I have to do is look backwards, look like literally 180, and that'll be enough. That'll be enough to get me to turn. I don't need that much energy to turn. I just need to look backwards, right? So just look straight back as you turn, and you bring the knee up, and that should be enough. Yeah. All right. That's probably the most common thing is people try to rotate too much, and then they end up like flushing themselves down the toilet as they move. All right, guys, let's try this. So if you were just listening to what I was telling Rich, a really common mistake, probably the most common mistake that I see with this jump, both in Wushu and in Empe, is too much rotation. Remember, guys, you don't need to rotate that much. You're only going 360 degrees. You're not doing a 720, 7 kicks in a row, Taekwondo kick where you're just like tornado kick over and over again. Okay? You don't need that much rotation. Okay? So if you listen to what I was saying to Rich, all I'm doing to get power is turning around. I'm just looking backwards. At the same time, I just bring this knee up. That's all I'm doing. Literally all I'm doing is just this.
Like you're
And
running
I'm pushing off this foot. The simple act of me turning around to look is going to give me enough power for the jump. Okay? So as I'm here, just this motion, looking backwards, is going to give me power, enough power to land the jump without moving, without having to like, whoa, afterwards. If I keep rotating, if I rotate more, I'm going to lose balance afterwards. I'm going to have too much energy, too much centrifugal force, and I'm not going to contain it in my own body, especially the way I'm landing. Okay? So try that. Nice and relaxed. Don't hurt yourself. Here, just turn, and almost like you're like scooping something up. You guys ever do that? Like you're scooping something up with your foot? Same idea. Not this, but I'm lifting. Okay? So as I turn, I lift. As I turn, I lift. Land in the back stance. Okay? Don't worry about your hands. Just worry about the feet. So again, I saw this, boom, boom, both feet. Both feet need to hit the ground at the same time. But one sound. Okay, one sound, one sound. Hopefully none of you are on the second floor of like a building or something. Whoever's underneath you is going, what is going on up there?
So Charlie, try to avoid kind of bouncing back up after you land. Yeah, you're kind of doing this buoyancy thing. Yeah.
Boing.
Not like jumping off the ground, but his body is shifting.
It's just Charlie. He's just so much. He's got so much bouncy energy. He just ricochets off the ground.
Try to just sink down and then done. Boom. Yeah, that's better.
Pretty good. Brian, not bad. Kai, not bad. You got the turn down. It's just a matter of landing, right? It's just a matter of landing with both feet. Remember, bring your right knee up a little higher. Your right knee is kind of sticking low. That's why it's hitting first. Oh, now your left knee was down low. You got to bring both knees up. Both knees, Kai. Both knees. You're doing this, Kai. You're doing this. You're going like this. Like one, then the other. Or you're doing this. You're bringing one up, and then you're bringing one like this. Like just kind of tucking it. You got to bring both knees up. That was better. That was better. You still got to bring it a little higher, but that was right. You're on the right track.
Natalia, you're using other leg.
That's all right. Jonathan, that wasn't bad. What's up? Oh, Brian, what's up?
That's no question, but
Don't worry about it.
if you land and you end up landing too low, should you wait till like going to the next move to go back up, or should you go back up?
Like if you're like in a super deep, if you're like a super low back stance, I would say just because you got one more shuto after that. Just step forward, do a shuto, and then be done.
Is it step backwards?
Or sorry, step backwards. Step back. After that, after the shuto, step back and do whatever. Finish the kata because you got one more shuto, and then be done with it. You shouldn't really. How low are you landing? Like how low of a back stance you're landing? You shouldn't be landing that deep of back stance because it's not too big of a jump. But yeah, same answer. Same answer either way. So yeah. The good thing is you're even more loaded now, I guess. Like right there, that was good. That was fine. And then you just like fell forward a little bit. There you go. That's pretty good. And then I would say tuck your hip a little bit. You were kind of here. The reason why you fell forward earlier is because you're here like this. Tuck that.
There you go, Asher. Good job bringing those knees up.
That was better. That was better. All right, Yami, you guys. Nice job. Relax, relax. That's enough for today, with the jumps anyways. So, translating that to Wanshu, right? Now, back stance, I know it's a little bit easier to land in a back stance for that jump just because of the way you're spinning, right? If you land wrong in a front stance, you're gonna take your knee out. So I would say even if you don't know Empe or whatever, if you're practicing the jump for Wanshu, I would say practice this jump until you feel like this jump is a piece of cake, like easy. Landing both feet on the ground, super awesome back stance, whatever. Don't worry about the hands, but start in a front stance and then jump into that back stance and nail that one first, and then have one of us watch it, and then I would say probably move on to the Wanshu. So the good thing is a lot of you are probably young enough to where it's not going to really affect you, but I don't want to take that chance, and I don't want you to take that chance either, because it's at the end of the day, they're your knees, okay? So anyways, okay, so we'll do a quick bow. I actually did want to talk to you guys about something that kind of was, I was thinking about last night, but if you need to go, you need to go, that's okay. But we'll do a quick bow here at the end. Just get.